everybody. My name is Georgiana Haynes, and we are back today with another one of our Tuesday night Ant Team live trainings. And as you guys can see, whether you're on the computer or on the tablet, iPhone, Apple, Android, whatever systems are out there now, the topic of discussion for tonight is going to be the antidote for fear. So I'm going to just give you guys all a moment to get logged in, sign on, get connected, shout out your highs and hellos, and as well share your wins for the week. You know how it is here every week. Every Tuesday, we share our wins and we celebrate with each other. So far, we have Miss Kathleen, first one on the line. Miss Jessica Z, hey girl, welcome. Miss Happy Tuesday, Miss Jess. Miss Rachel, Miss Sophia. Thank you guys all for joining me and being so prompt. You guys are like on point with your timing, but that's why you're Avon ladies. You guys run this. So guys, wow, we are less than a week to go before RepFest, our National Avon Conference. I'm actually leaving this weekend, but the conference actually starts next week. It's going to be, I think, 2 or 3 days. I don't even know. I'm just like, I want to go on vacation like yesterday. I want to blow this pop stand. But we'll be going to RepFest, and I'm so excited to see all of you guys there. So let me get a shout out below. If you're going to RepFest, let me see some likes, some thumbs up, some comments. Let's see who we have. Miss Renee, hey! So who do we have who's going to be joining us in RepFest? This year's RepFest is going to be held in Nashville, Tennessee. It's my first time in Nashville. I've never been before. This is not my first RepFest, but this is my first time in Nashville for any reason at all. So I am super excited. I like to go to new places, and this is the first time that conference is somewhere that I've never been. In the past, the only conferences that I've gone to were the ones in Vegas and in the one that we had in Florida, 2 that we had in Florida. But it was like one in Vegas, then we took a break, then 2 in Florida, and then another one in Vegas. So this time is the first time, at least while I've been around, that they're having the conference in a different state. So Nashville, Tennessee it is. People are getting dressed up. They've got their cowboy boots. They've got their cowboy hats. I'm not doing any of that because it's going to be 80 degrees and I don't know about boots. But I am excited to go. I'm super excited to see all of my fellow Avon representatives, my Avon extended family, brothers and sisters, aunts, adopted moms, adopted Avon dads. This is our chance to all get together, and there are representatives from all over the U.S., north, south, east, west, all the coasts and everything in between. Representatives come out, and it is such an electric atmosphere. Everyone's so energetic, so motivational, so super kind and warm, and I just love to meet other representatives and get connected. So I am looking forward to seeing you guys there, getting to meet a lot of you. A lot of us have been talking because we started doing our Ants Live training on Facebook Live past, I don't know, a couple of months, last September. So we haven't done a full year yet with our Ants Live training, but I've met a lot of you guys and we've been talking like every week. You guys are like friends that I've never met. I'm like, it's a little weird because we're so close. We talk all the time, but we've never met each other. So this is going to be an opportunity for us to meet. So I hope you guys are going to be there so that we do get to connect with each other. And of course, take tons of selfies. My family makes fun now. They're like, you're the selfie pro because I'm the only one who can get giant groups of people in when we take selfies. And even when I hang out with my friends, they're like, how are you so good at this and your arms are so short? I'm like, you do enough Avon conferences with groups of people where you can't take a single selfie. You have to take group selfies. You become a pro at this. So I am ready. I've got my camera ready. I am going to be emptying my phone this weekend, so I have plenty of room for pictures and video, and we're just going to have a good time. I'm excited to hear what Avon HQ is going to be sharing with us. I think that this RepFest is going to be bigger than last year's, even though last year's was our anniversary celebration. I don't know why I have that feeling. It's not that I've heard anything. I just sort of feel like this is going to be huge. At our Bahamas trip, they did mention from the higher ups that they're going to be giving away some great prizes, and they even let it slide that this year's prizes are going to be better than last year's prize. Now, as I said before, last year I had the honor and the blessing to win the trip to Tahiti. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, that is like the best thing ever. How can you get much better than that? There was another lady who won a Tahitian black pearl necklace that was valued at like thousands of dollars. I think it was $6,000 or $7,000. How do you get much better than that? So I'm really excited to see what they have in store for us. And this year's Rep Fest also, we're not just only going to be in the convention center, we're actually going to be leaving the convention center to go see a tour. I never done that. I think there's a boat ride they mentioned. Never ever done any of that. So this is a whole session of firsts for me. So I'm looking forward to having a great time there. From my team, Miss Denisha and Miss Armstrong are going to be joining me, so I'm excited. Miss Armstrong is a part of my team, but we've never met in person, so it's nice to be able to meet a team member. I'm excited to meet her and to hang out a little bit, but also all the other representatives who are like extended team family, who have adopted me into their family and who I've adopted into my family. It's just going to be a huge Avon family reunion, so it's going to be fun. Looking forward to it. Hi, Miss Sharonica. Thanks for joining. So as you guys log in, let me see what your wins for the week are. What are you celebrating that you've done between last week's Tuesday night conference call and this week? So the last 7 days, what have you done to either grow your business, promote yourself, overcome an obstacle? What are you celebrating in your business? What have you accomplished? This week, Tuesday, actually falls on our Closeout Tuesday, which, our Avon campaigns run on 2-week schedules. So every other week, we close out a campaign. Today, we close out campaign 16. We are officially 100%. Everybody's all into campaign 17. So for those of us who are leaders, this is a time where we get our checks. We used to call it Blue Check Tuesday, but then they stopped mailing us checks. So now it's like Direct Deposit Tuesday, which doesn't sound as cool, but money in the bank is what it basically boils down to. Love Tuesdays and Wednesdays because I get caught off guard. I know it's coming, but every 2 weeks I'll, open my bank account and I'll be like, money. Oh, okay, it's payday. Wonderful. So I love that feeling. So let me see what you guys are celebrating. What accomplishments that have you had in your business, on your team, within, your goal setting? We are big on goals in this little group that we have going on here. We're always talking about goals, always talking about setting goals, and you need to be tracking towards your goals. So if you're new, go back and watch the videos that we've done in the past, but we are big on goal setting. And I always say that the best way to stay on track with your goals is to track consistently. Break your goals down into 90-day goals, 30-day goals, monthly goals, 30-day goals, same thing, and weekly goals, and even daily goals, so that you just constantly stay on track. So we do these wins for multiple reasons, not just to celebrate with each other, because whether you're on a team or not, it's always great to celebrate. There will also be some celebration at RepFest. I have some news to share with you for that as well, but I'll get back to that in a minute. But it's important to celebrate. It's important to track your goals to see that you're staying on track with the things that you want to accomplish with your business and in your life. So this is your opportunity to share. So, I know how it is. I originally didn't start with an upline. So I used to love having our meetings where we got together, and I love to see other representatives who were accomplishing stuff that I never thought that I could accomplish. But just seeing people around me doing it kind of made it seem more real, seem more like, okay, it can be done. Because a lot of times we put these things on a pedestal and we think, oh, wow, you've got to be an amazing, this exceptional person. And although you are amazing and you are exceptional, it's not like, okay, this is something that never happens. And to accomplish that is to be 1 in a bazillion, jillion. It's like 1 in 10, 1 in 20. So these wins are also for others. So for those of you who are accomplishing things in your business, celebrate here and on your Facebook pages and in your social media. Miss Marie Benoit Wilcox once sent to me, be proud out loud. And that stayed in my head, and I loved it because I said, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And a lot of times we get a lot of flack because the people who didn't stay on top of their dreams and goals, who quit, who gave up, and maybe who just weren't cut out for this, they're the ones who are always loud about how it didn't work and how they couldn't do it and how, this, that, and the other about the company, the customers, the representatives, you name it, they blame it. And those of us who are achieving stuff, sometimes we're not as enthusiastic and we're not sharing what we've accomplished. And, if you're anything like me, when I started, I didn't know about the people who were earning trips. I've never met a person who had gone on a trip. I knew there were people around me who were President's Club and above, but I didn't know who they were because they never said anything. I didn't know at the time. I remember I told my district manager, I didn't know any AULs. Everyone I knew, back in the day was advanced unit leader. Now it's the equivalent of, I think, bronze leader. Yeah, probably about bronze leader level. I didn't know anybody who was at that level. And for me, in my mind, I was like, that's impossible. You can't do it, because if it could be done, I would have met someone who did it. So this is your chance to share your wins so that other people can be encouraged as well. So let's see who we have here. Ms. Sharonica says she's been busy building her online presence, which is awesome. She started her blog, yay! And she's been advertising and recruiting on social media. She also created and began sharing her experience business cards. Awesome. So she's sharing her business cards. She's promoting on social media. She's got her blog going, which is awesome. She's doing that online promotion. So congratulations to you, Sharonica. It is not an easy feat to set up a blog, as you guys know who have done it. I've also put together a blog, and I remember it took me quite a while to just figure out what platform to use, what to put on it. And, it takes a lot to constantly be promoting and putting on to your blog. So it's great that Ms. Sharonica is doing that. So yeah, congratulations to you, Ms. Sharonica. Who else is celebrating? What are you guys accomplishing? Let me share one of my wins with you. So some of you might have remembered that Avon had an incentive called Go Country, Win Big. I don't know if you can see that logo up there. There we go. So it was an incentive with Avon where you can earn a decanter, the hotel stay, and an Avon VIP party at RepFest. So I was able to earn all 3 levels, and it just took me forever to pick up my campaign 16 order. But I finally did today, and I opened up the box. I've been seeing everyone posting these on Facebook, and I was like, I have to get my box because I want my decanter. But I finally got my decanter. So here's what it says. It says, congratulations, Beauty Boss. As a special token of our appreciation for your performance in the Go Country Win Big incentive, we are happy to present you with our 50th anniversary Wild Country limited edition collectible decanter. 10 times fast, try saying that. Thank you for your hard work. We look forward to celebrating with you in Nashville at RepFest in Nashville. All the best, from Miss Betty Palm. And I keep these. Yeah, I actually I collect all of these to celebrate all of my achievements, because like I said, sometimes you just don't think things are possible, and then you do it, and then you forget, and then you need to remind yourself that it was possible. So Avon's Wild Country Cologne is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. So Avon put together this special celebration party, which seems not convenient, but great, because we're going to Nashville, which is kind of like that, Western cowboy area, and Wild Country is our cowboy kind of clone. So I'm unboxing. I just took it out of the box, left it in the wrapping paper and everything. So let me unbox for you. So this is the box that it came in. Now I'm wondering, should I leave it in the box and keep it as like a limited edition? Hey, Tiffany, welcome. So I was thinking, like when you, again, my nerddom is coming out here live for all you all to see, but like when you have comic books, if they're in the package, they're valued, they have a higher value. I was like, ooh, should I keep it in the box? But this is the box that it came in. Very manly. I'm going to take it out of the plastic because I just want to see what's inside. It's probably like, she's not going to open it. What? So let's see if I could do this without tearing the box. My sister's the one who's great with packaging. All right, so here we go. Let's see if I can do this without breaking it. So this is the decanter. Do you guys remember in the past, Avon used to have all of its colognes in these decanters, and they had different shapes, owls and fire trucks and boats, all kinds of things. Side note, my boss went on vacation last week, and he came back. He went up to, I think, somewhere north, and he came back and he was like, "Did you know that there are Avon decanters in the fire museum?" Where he went, and I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, it's a fire station, and they have the Avon fire truck decanter on display in the museum." I was like, "What? Okay." So this is our shoe shaped. It's our Wild Country boot shaped decanter. Oh Lord, please don't let me drop this. So cute. And at first, when I saw it online, I was like, "Oh, that would make a good gift for my dad," but he's not getting it. Ooh. Mm. So this is my decanter. I think I might put it on display on my bookcase. But thank you, Avon, for my goodies. I love how they make us feel like so recognized, and all of these incentives that they've been doing lately have been you do, you get. They've been open to all representatives, whether you've been new, or as we discussed last week, it's not going to be old, but if you're more experienced. So I love that they've been doing all of this for us, and I'm excited to earn this. We earn the Mrs. Albies every year, and then the little Avon Oscars at the President's Recognition dinners. But it's nice to earn something that's different and that's unique. That it's special. So thank you for this, Avon. Thank you to my customers. Thank you to my awesome team for your support. Thank you for all the other representatives for your encouragement too, and the sharing of ideas and the network that we have here. Just so excited for all of this, and excited for you guys, because I saw a lot of people who earned this and were posting pictures online. Now, if you earned it and you did not post the picture, shame on you. Go dig it out of wherever you put it. Take a quick picture with it. Take a selfie. I don't know. Take something and just post it online. If you're camera shy, take a picture of it and just post it and share. And tag Avon, tag Beauty Boss, everything, the whole nine. So that was my win for this week. I also share with you, and I guess I'll share again next week. I probably will share again next week, because between the minute I land and the minute my plane arrives back in New York City, I will be posting pictures and videos. So I will be sharing with you. But last week I received a letter, and I think I mentioned it actually, that Avon is going to be doing its recognition, and I will be one of the representatives that will be recognized on stage. So it was a huge win for me. I did mention this already, but like I said, huge win. So I'm going to keep talking about it. I have to share with my Avon family. You guys are like my Avon moms and sisters and brothers. So all right. So who else do we have that's sharing here? Did I say hi, Miss Kathleen? Hi, Miss Kathleen. Miss Minnie says she's been recuperating from spinal fusion surgery. Wow. For the last 3 months, but her customers are awesome. Don't you just love? Shout out to all of our customers that support. She said they either texted her, called her, or ordered from her website, and she's happy to say that during her recovery time, her orders never dropped below $300. So, and they were calling to check on her. Congratulations to you, Miss Minnie, for having awesome customers. But don't you just love that about the business? No matter where you are, you could still be working your business. And we do have some really great customers, and a lot of us over the years become friends with our customers. So it becomes more than just, delivering a package, or, like when you go to the supermarket and the checkout line, you don't even converse with the teller. It's more than that. The service we provide, a lot of our customers appreciate it, and we do build relationships with them. And Miss Minnie shared a wonderful example of that. So congratulations to you, Miss Minnie, and thank you for sharing. I hope that you recover 100% quick, fast, and in a hurry, so that you could get your boot, scoot, and booty onto the dance floor and we could party a little. Celebrate with Avon, yes. Miss Lisa says she loves the bottle. She needs to get it for the hubby. Yes, it's cute, but like I said, my dad's not getting it. Would you? Yeah, you're nice. You would share it with your husband. I didn't even want to take it out the box. Kathleen says she remembers, and she has the card. Okay, so Miss Kathleen remembers when Avon had the different decanters. I almost ended up with some once, and there was like a clearance sale. Somebody was having like a yard sale, what do they call those? Yeah, a yard sale. And I slept on it. I was like, oh yeah, I'll go back. I'll go back. They had the cute little owl. And I don't know what happened to them, but I have to ask the person that was having it if they sold it or if they had it. Um, Yes, thank you, Kathleen. Tiffany, her win is that she earned the Wild Country incentive too. Woohoo! And she has one share in the nesting incentive. Congratulations, Miss Tiffany. Good job. That nesting incentive, I'm really excited about it. I have to say, I'll be honest with you guys, I was really disappointed. Like, I needed some serious prayer time to just get myself back into this kind of positive mood because I was just like, but as I mentioned last week, I was talking to you guys about, are you kidding yourself? It was a reality check for me because there were some things that I had been putting off that needed to be done, and I had promised myself I would do it. Just get into it after the Bahamas trip, and then after the Bahamas trip, they came up with this nesting program, and I was just like, no, and I was just like, no, you can't renege on your own promises. So I didn't. I feel like I'm gonna wait for the results, but I wish I mean I always wish I could do better. I think it's the architect in me. I feel like the work is never done and there's always room for improvement. But that's where I am. But congratulations to you, Tiffany. Um, that is gonna be a really big boost to your business. I know it, regardless, whatever the value of each share is, worth it. So else do we have? Does anybody else earning shares in that incentive? That's one of the current incentives that we have going on. We have the charm incentive where you can earn the Avon charm bracelet. There's always like a multitude of incentives going on. So there's no reason for us to not have wins because we should all be tracking for one incentive or another. There's always something going on. It's always some way for you to earn and win amazing things. So guys, take advantage of these things because Avon wants us to have this. I always tell my team, other representatives that I meet, Avon is a big, Fortune 500, huge company. When they're trying to give you something, just take it, go for it. Don't let them keep it. If they put it on the table for you, you do like when we're playing those, like on TV when they're playing like cards and blackjack and they get all the little chips and they just kind of reach out and rake everything in. That's what we should be doing with our business. Any incentive or offer that's on the table, just embrace it, rake it in, and you'll be earning amazing stuff too. So I'm looking forward. I'm not closing the incentives, the wins for the week, I should say. So I want to see some more things that you guys are celebrating. But while you guys continue to share your wins, I am going to get into our topic of discussion for the evening. So as I said, the topic for tonight is going to be entitled The Antidote for Fear. So I was actually thinking about, fear is always on one of the topics that we talk about a lot, especially when we're doing new representative training, because I find that a lot of representatives, a lot of people are afraid and letting that fear hinder them from their success. And I see it because that's me. I go through that too. Still, even though I've been doing this for years, I have those moments. And it's still always sad to me when I see someone else doing it because I'm like, if you could only see your potential, if you could see yourself the way that I see you, and if you could just imagine the things that are possible for you. So for me, fear has always been, for me, goals and fear are the topics that I am always talking about because I feel like your goals are super important, but you can't let your fear hinder you. And your fear is going to be the thing that topples you. It's not going to be, how many incentives the company has, what their payment plan is, what they have in the brochure, how big the brochure is, what size the product numbers and letters are. It's going to be your own belief window, whether or not you're letting your fear keep you from your dreams and goals or not. Wait, I see a giant win coming in from Miss Jess. Okay, so Miss Jess said it was hard to get in the groove after earning the Bahamas. Agreed, 100%. But so she wished she had earned more shares, but she's thankful for the few that she earned. Always work to do. I love that hashtag. Always work to do. Thank you for sharing, Miss Jess. Jessica Z. Wait a minute. Where's Jessica M? Somebody tag her. Like, girl, get over here. It's weird. Like I said, you guys, even though we never really hang out together, it's like I'm looking in the chat like, wait, is someone missing? As if we're all in the room. And I'm like, wait a minute. Somebody's not here. Anyway, so a big thing for me. And I started to think about, I always think about ways that I could, I guess, explain or give you tools to help you overcome whatever fear you might have, or what am I doing in my own life and in my own trauma that I'm using to help myself, and what can I share with you guys to help you improve as well. So I thought about, I took a scientific perspective. Why? Because Comic-Con was last week and I didn't get to go, and I'm feeling some kind of way about it, but my nerd zone is turned all the way up. I started to think about fear as if it's a disease, because why? It can be debilitating and crippling, just like a disease, an infection, a cold. It keeps you from doing the things that you want to do. It inhibits you from accomplishing stuff. So I said, okay, let's take a look at fear as if it's this horrible, gross, disease. And I said, okay, so if I were to attack fear, how would I go about it? Most illnesses, bacterial or otherwise, you usually come up with a treatment, some type of plan to counteract it. So I said, okay, let's see if I could find the antidote for fear. Yeah, I know, I do it with one finger all the time. Antidote for fear. So I started to look at antidotes that I'm familiar with. And the first one that came to mind was actually penicillin. You guys are all familiar with penicillin. It's like Tylenol. You can go and get a prescription for it. Doctors use it all the time. And penicillin is basically something that fights bacteria that causes infections. If you guys are familiar with the story, there was a guy, a scientist years ago, Alexander Fleming. You guys know that guy. Story has it, he left a petri dish open in the window. Some spores came, landed in it, grew mold. It was penicillin that grew in that container. And they always attribute it's one of the huge advances in scientific technology in our history. So, in the past, bacterial infections were actually a humongous cause of death, because you would cut yourself, it would get infected, it would spread, and a tiny nick can turn into a life. Either you might lose a limb because it gets amputated because they didn't have any way to treat the infection, so they would just cut it off to stop the infection from spreading. Super painful. I'm an architectural designer, biology, not for me. So just even thinking of that. But limbs would be amputated. Regular run-of-the-mill things like giving birth was really dangerous, because you might get an infection, and the percentage of women who died after childbirth, or even women who had miscarriages, there was a really high chance of them getting so sick that they passed away. So, a simple thing like giving birth meant that you may not live. And I can't even imagine that, because I'm like, here you are giving birth and giving life to a child, and at the same time fearing for your life, because, let's say, I don't remember the percentages. I remember skimming past it while I was reading about penicillin, but, 1 out of 10, I think somebody said. No, I think it was higher than that, but even maybe my mind is making me think 1 out of 10, because I can work with that. But, imagine 1 out of every 10 women, just walk down the street, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that one. Imagine like 1 out of every 10 women, just passing away because of childbirth. Imagine people, being so terrified of getting cuts and burns, because there was a chance that you might either die or lose a limb. We can't even fathom it. But I'll be honest with you, there are still places in the world now where those things are still an issue, because penicillin isn't, penicillin and medicines aren't as available in those countries as they are here. So I was just thinking about that. And again, the fear, like I could feel just thinking about it, how scary that is to live like that. But so this penicillin came around. It was Alexander Fleming's discovery, but Alexander Fleming discovered it, and it took another 17 years. I'm just going to give you some facts. We'll come back to it in a minute. But it took 17 years before the penicillin could be perfected, mass-produced, and distributed to the public. It was actually refined by another scientist, Dr. Howard Florey, who was working with a team. Emphasize, bold, highlight, underline, team. Also going to come back to that in a minute. My Miss Tiffany gave me a wonderful segue, from nesting program into our topic of discussion tonight. But Mr. Flory, working with the team, successfully treated a group of people, and that kind of began the interest in penicillin as a cure for bacterial infections, and help trigger mass productions. So it was like around in World War II that it became more and more prevalent. But 17 years from Alexander Fleming discovering penicillin to the point where you could go out and find it on the shelves. So just let that marinate for a minute. So with Fleming's discovery, I know I'm taking you guys into like this really scientific route. You guys are like, I came here for Avon meeting, and here this one goes with science. Bear with me. I'm gonna tie it in a minute. Just hang with me. I can imagine the number count just like dwindling as I talk, but I am going somewhere with this. Just bear with me. So I thought about penicillin and bacteria. Penicillin as the antidote to bacterial infections. It took away some of the fear that these infections had. It took away the power that these infections had over people's lives, over their fear sensors, and over their health. So the deadliness of the infections, in essence, sort of lost some of their power. First and foremost, think about it. Now, an ear infection, a little cut on your finger getting infected, or giving birth, it doesn't instill in us these days that fear of death. You don't get a cut in your finger and like mourn your finger like, oh my gosh, I might lose this finger now. You throw a Band-Aid on it, right? And even if it does get infected, you go to the doctor, they treat it. Ear infections, if your child has an ear infection, you're not thinking, oh my gosh, my baby is going to die because they have an ear infection. You take them to the doctor, you take them to City MD, you get some antibiotics, and you're okay. You're sad about it, but it's not like, oh my gosh, this might mean death. So that power has now been taken away in medically advanced societies. So like I said earlier, there are still places in the world that are still growing scientifically who don't have access to resources, or don't have the medical knowledge. But watching sci-fi, you guys, Star Trek, not so much Star Wars, mostly Star Trek. They're always like when you're exploring space and you you encounter another civilization. If they're not as advanced as you, they might not have the advances in technology. They might be being attacked by plagues and stuff. And it's always like Starfleet that's coming with medical treatments and stuff and helping that civilization. It's sort of like that, they come in as the saviors of literally the planet. But it's not that the bacteria has gotten weaker. The bacteria itself is, if anything, is more powerful now because it's built up a resistance to all this stuff. But it's not the bacteria itself that's changed. It's not that now you don't get it, you can't get infected. You still can get an infection. It's just that our knowledge, underscore bold highlight, our knowledge has changed, and our knowledge of how to handle those infections has gotten better. So bacteria is not weaker. We've gotten better. So all of that background information on penicillin and the history of penicillin actually really helped me to think, reformulate my idea of fear by taking this route and looking at it in a different way, because I found 5 steps. I actually learned, when in my research, I learned a lot, because you kind of know about stuff, but you don't really know how they came about. For those of you, any biology, medicine majors out there, you guys are all like, yeah, I know all this stuff. Architectural designer, I don't know any of this stuff except what I've picked up from sci-fi. So I learned a good couple of things, and I applied it to our idea of fear. And I wanted to share those things with you and help you formulate the antidote for fear for yourself. Give you a couple of action steps that you can use to create your own antidote to overcome, repel, treat your fear, and to encourage others as well. So I kind of left some Easter eggs throughout my penicillin discussion, things that stood out to me as I was reading and doing research that I applied to these steps. So the first and foremost, that idea that the bacteria is not gotten any weaker. Our knowledge of it has gotten stronger. So for me, the first step, the thing that we can use to combat fear and objections, or fear of objections, is the same thing that those scientists use, that doctors and scientists have used over years, and that's knowledge. Um, Back in the day, cavemen being afraid of the other animals, they discovered fire, they waved it in the face of the animals, they became more dominant, things changed. Knowledge, it just breaks down to knowing enough to be able to handle these situations. So um, some of the things that you could do to expand your knowledge are, first and foremost, read professional magazines. I know this is business, it's not school, but if you want to grow, you need to know more. And I always say you never know enough. The learning never stops. And I do encourage you guys to read professional magazines, read networking magazines and business magazines and financial magazines, anything that can be related to your business in any way, shape, or form. Beauty magazines, because that's the business we're in. Read them, flip through them, take some time and get to know, educate yourself. Don't just say, okay, just because it's a professional industry magazine, that's outside of my scope. No, it still applies to you. It affects your business. So you should be doing the research and, getting involved in those things. Watch videos. YouTube now is just prevalent. We can all watch YouTube videos. Those of you who are here on our live stream, kudos, you got step number one. Read books, do workshops, go to conferences, Avon Vet Fest, join webinars. Avon has Avon HQ, what do they call them now, monthly sales meetings that are streamed as webinars. Join into them. I was talking about the importance of them last week. All of these things are tools that you have at your disposal to increase your knowledge, to give you a stronger foundation, to help empower you to overcome these obstacles. And if you're not training, you're losing ground. Michael Durso, love that guy, had a really great quote the other day. He said that when you're not, like, for example, when you're not exercising, or let's say you're exercising for a while and then you stop exercising and then you go back to exercise, you can't pick up where you left off. Your body has adjusted to not exercising. So you kind of have to work your way back up to the same level you were on. Your body becomes a little bit weaker. It's a little harder to get back into it. So if you're not training yourself, if you're not learning and educating yourself, doing the trainings, the workshops, doing more than, our 1 week training call, you're losing ground, and you don't want to fall back. But the info you gain will give you answers to your problems. In the same way that Fleming's work was the answer to Florey's problem. Florey was a scientist later on. He was able to do research and go back and take Alexander Fleming's work and improve upon it. But if he never read a medical journal, if he didn't know or care about what other scientists in the profession were doing, he may not have heard about Fleming, and he would have missed the opportunity. And we all would have missed the opportunity to learn and grow from his research and his development. And I'll tell you guys, Miss Kathleen says, knowledge is power. Yes. But I'll tell you guys, when I first started, I didn't know all the stuff that I know now. I was green. Still in high school, not even fresh out of high school, first job, didn't know anything about business management or sales. But, here I was trying to share an opportunity, promote the products. Avon used to have those little binders for us. I would sit and read through that binder, read all the product descriptions. I always share with you guys the what's new. I still look through for ideas. These are some of the tools that you have, and the information that you gain from there will help you when you're in the field. I have found that when I'm in the field, a lot of times you get objections that aren't really substantial. They're not really sitting on anything solid. They're hearsay, things that people have concocted that sometimes doesn't even make sense. And at first I was super intimidated because what did I know? If somebody said something, I didn't know if it was true or not. They said it, I assumed it was what it was, and I would just catch my fear and say, oh, okay, whatever, and just back down. And then I got to the point of, listening to leaders in the business, listening to leaders in our profession, whether it was our company or just general sales, direct sales, MLM, whatever, networking, network marketing. I listened to a lot of the coaching programs, and then I found myself when I was in the field, when someone said something crazy, I was like, wait a minute, and I was able to counter. And we would, a lot of times in our arguments, people would realize that what they were saying really had no foundation. And let me tell you, people have come with some crazy stuff that I knew would throw me for a loop when I first started. But as I became more experienced and more knowledgeable, I was able to counter a lot of that stuff. So a lot of you guys, I remember once I had a representative, she was new, and her thing was none of her customers wanted to pay full price for the items. They wanted her to waive the sales tax, waive the order processing charge, and still discount the products. And she was like, her mindset and her take on it was, well, how am I going to get sales and make money if I don't give all these discounts? And I was like, girl, if you give all of these discounts, you're not going to make sales. You'll make sales, but you're not going to make any money. I was like, this is a business you're running. And I was able to tell her, sales tax is something that you're paying for these products because the state and the city, except if you're in Delaware, oh, you Delaware people with your no tax. But this is something the state and the city implements. This is the way they collect, monies to fund their stuff. You're a business person. You're in sales, charge tax. Not to mention, you pay tax on the item. So if you don't pay it, it's not that it just goes away. You're going to end up paying for that out of pocket. And I said to her, these people, they're coming to you and saying, oh, my old rep from years gone past didn't charge me all this stuff. And I was just like, okay, well, one, if their relationship with those representatives was still great, they would still be ordering from that representative. 10 to 1, maybe after they guilted that rep out of giving so many discounts, the poor person went out of business, or stopped selling because they realized they weren't making money. But I was like, let's do the math on this. And I gave her some facts. I gave her some different ideas for things that she can say to help overcome this obstacle of all these customers. And I had the same thing happen to me when I first started. And my thing was, what, there are enough customers out there who want the products, who appreciate your time and effort, the fact that you're a business and you're a serious business owner, that love the product, that are willing to pay the proper price for it. I was like, you don't have to let these people walk all over you. And then after that, after I gave her some things to say and some proof that real businesses pay tax, then she felt more confident to go out and talk down these people. And she also felt, okay, you know what, you're right, this is not going to be the customer group for me. I think one of the things that I told her, at the time, Avon had did a study that said in urban areas, the ratio of potential customers to representatives was about 200 to 1. So, it's a fact, it's a number, it's tangible. She was able to grasp that, and it helped her to see that she doesn't have to rely on her 5 friends who don't really want to help or support or encourage her in business, who just want free stuff. There are another potential 200 customers out there that she can go out and find. And I think that was the key that got her to move forward and overcome that obstacle. But that knowledge came from me going and listening to the training and the courses that Avon, gave out those numbers in, so I was able to repeat that to her. It came from me learning from other representatives, what to charge and, how to give discounts, because discounts are cool. And I do give discounts and free products to my customers, but I incentivize the discounts. And I incentivize the different offers. I, have different raffles for my team and for my customers. If you place an order of this size, you get entered into a raffle. If you help me with my raffle form, you get entered into a raffle. I don't just give products away for the sake of giving it away, because I'm not a charity, I'm a business. So something like that is just a change in mindset. Miss Kathleen says that she keeps the what's new in a box as a tool, especially reading other people's journeys and their Avon experience. Exactly. Perfect example. as well. Other people's experiences too, just knowing what they've gone through. When I hear other representatives, what they've overcome to get to where they are, it motivates me. But I would have lost that motivation if I didn't listen to their encouraging stories. So, super crucial for you to expand your knowledge. The second thing is, same way, if you're a scientist, you're in a lab, you're doing tests, studies, and field tests. So the second thing is to do field tests. Take that knowledge that you've gained from your reading and your workshops and your studying and put it into action. This is actually a key step, because number one alone is not going to get you to succeed and overcome those fears. You have to put it in action. So you have to take your skills that you learn and put them into real life situations, because that conversation is an opportunity for you to learn. Pretend it's a science experiment when you're out there. Real tip, like, just pretend, go out, say, okay, I'm doing an experiment. I'm looking for people's responses when I say this sentence versus this sentence. Go out and test it. Run it like it's an experiment. It will help take off some of the anxiety. We always talk about playing different games, going out and talking to everybody who's in a red blouse, going out and saying, oh, it's National Lipstick Day, and you use that as a door opener. Change your mindset of, oh my gosh, I'm going to go out and ask people if they want a book or if they want to join Avon, and they're going to say no to me, and they hate me, and I'm going to burst into a ball of flame. You are doing an experiment. You're going out to see how many people you can share the opportunity with in an hour, how many sample packs you can give out. Do the pink sample packs go faster than the blue sample packs? Whatever it is, use, put together little experiments for yourself to take off some of the pressure of, oh my gosh, I'm going out and I'm talking to people. What do I do? What do I say? Doesn't matter. What you say is a part of the experiment. Try this sentence versus that sentence. If you don't like that sentence, refine it. It's okay. You're not going to burst into a ball of flame. You're allowed to change your spiel. You don't constantly have to say the same thing. And Avon has a great training now with Grow, the steps to promoting your business in a more natural way. Take one of the steps. I was telling my coach, I'm a little slow. I need to dive in and analyze each thing individually. So the first week I was focused on the G. The second week I was focused on the R, and all the things that are involved. Make an experiment out of it. Kind of play a game, but don't be afraid. Just focus on what you're going to learn from the results, because the knowledge you get from talking to people, watching people's body language, and you're talking to a person and they're doing this, arms crossed, leaning back, they're kind of not interested in you or what you're saying. You haven't really piqued their interest. So see what happens when you hand them something. Do they uncross their arms to take it from you? Do they lean forward? See what keywords, your tone of voice. Think about what you're saying. Are you rambling on and rattling off all the benefits of being in business? Are you asking them questions about their life? Think about what you're talking about in different moments. And after every experience where you speak with someone, or after every event, go back and think, okay, what was this person's response? What did their body language say? What was my body language saying? A lot of times, sometimes we're out in the field and we don't realize it, but we're standing there like, I'm doing this prospecting thing, and we're wondering why nobody wants to come up to us and talk to us, because our face is in mean mug mode. We may not mean it. We may not be in a bad mood, but we just may have this look, and it's repelling people. Think about what you're wearing at the time. It could be, do you have better luck when you're wearing a suit versus when you're in your sweatpants? Do you have better luck in sneakers or in heels? Because if your heels are pinching your toes and your face looks like this, you may not have such a good response from people. So just kind of analyze all those things. Here's a good one. Miss Mimi says, how about how many no's can I get in an hour? It's one of the games we play with our it is a game we play by ourselves, but it's one of the games we play, but it keeps your mind away from, oh my gosh, I'm talking to people, and it makes it more fun. Do an experiment. How many no's? Thanks, Miss Mimi. How many no's can I get in an hour? Jess says, keep trying, keep learning, and keep getting better. Yeah, you grow. Every encounter, every opportunity is a chance for you to learn something and grow, because the things you learn from that first conversation will improve your skill set for the other conversation. A lot of times, especially when I'm trying out a new spiel, it takes a while for my mouth to properly form the sentences. And I trip over myself all the time. My tongue gets twisted and I forget what I want to say. But usually by the time I get to like the 15th person, I can slide through a sentence smoothly. I don't speak Spanish, but I've actually learned the Spanish that I know from being in the field. My area has a large Hispanic population, and they help me. They teach me how to say samples. They've taught me how to ask if I want to mail them something. Other representatives, Miss Hernandez, taught me how to read off the questions on our little questionnaire in Spanish, so I can say that. But I remember the first day it was scary. And the Spanish speaking representatives on my team could tell you my Spanish was rough when I first started. The other day I went out and I rattled off something to someone about the Avon opportunity in Spanish. And my friend turned to me and she was like, wow, that wasn't half bad. There are a couple of areas of improvement, but she was like, you've come a long way. It didn't come from me not practicing. It didn't come from me, doing 15 minutes of it the first day and never doing any more of it again for 3 years. Every day when we were out in the field, I was, if a Spanish speaking person came, I was like, wait, I want to practice. Ayúdame. So they would help me and I would learn, but that practice was invaluable. But yeah, also test your different skills in different situations. When I first became a leader, I tried to learn how to prospect in different situations. Shop specting, table prospecting, tailgating, in the parking lot, door to door. I tried to do all of it because I said what I'm comfortable with may not be what someone on my team is comfortable with. So I want to learn to be at least proficient in each variety so that I could teach my team different ways to do things, or depending on my team members' location. Maybe they can't do tables where they live, but they can do door to door. Maybe they can't do door to door, but they can do social media selling. So I tried to test the waters in a little bit of everything so I can gain a knowledge of it. But doing your field work in different situations will also help refine your skills. I've also found a lot of the stuff that I've picked up from social media selling, I actually use in the field and vice versa. The phrases that I've practiced in the field are sometimes the same things that I tweet in text. So you're working in different atmospheres and different locations, different times of day, with different types of people, gym people, supermarket people, school people, job fair people, all will help refine your skills and help you grow. Chat box is flying. Hold on. Bear with me, scrolling up. Miss Edwards says she's had to admit she's a little shy and sometimes she knows she may sound scared, but she is excited. Yeah, I'm a shy too, and I remember my voice used to tremble when I first started. You could audibly hear the trembling in my voice, but that went away with practice. I still trip over my words all the time, but I laugh it off and I keep it going. So I love that you're excited about it, Sharonica, because as you go about it, you're gonna get better. And just know we're all still figuring this out. So even if you're shy and doing it, at least you're doing it. Hey, Miss Gina, welcome. I'll be seeing you soon, Gina. Jessica Z says she had to try everything just to figure out what works best for her too. Yeah, great point. How do you know what works for you if you haven't done, a little bit of everything? And for those of you who are just starting and you've left the brochures in the laundromat and barbershop and you've talked to your 5 friends and you're like, this isn't working, I've tried everything. Trust me, there are still things that I am figuring out and testing out and trying for myself and learning. So you have a multitude of things that you can try. When my team signs up, I send them a welcome packet. And one of the things in there that I send is 70 ways to find new prospects or, find new customers. 70 different ways to try to grow your business. Don't even talk about, oh, this isn't working for me until you've tried all 70. So field testing, super important. Number 3, one of the things I mentioned earlier that I said I would come back to. Remember I said Mr. What's his name? It wasn't Fleming, it was the other guy. Flory. Remember I said that Flory was working as a team? So my third thing is teamwork. Very important for a few different reasons. First of all, as I mentioned, as we were talking about earlier with Miss Tiffany, having a team is wonderful because you get to learn and grow from everyone. So it shortens the learning curve. If someone has done something and discovered different things about it in the same way that Fleming had done some tests with penicillin and what's his name again? Why can't I remember his name? Flory. And Flory was able to improve upon that. When you're working as a team, you bounce ideas off of each other and you can improve upon each other's ideas. So you get to where you're going faster. And you have less like fiddling, futzing time, because someone who's gone through that already can say, okay, well, try this, do that. So you're not trying to figure it out from scratch every single time. Working as a team also creates an atmosphere for developing ideas and taking them further. Like how we talk here and chat, I learn from you guys learn from me, you guys learn from each other. Just having a discussion, an atmosphere of discussion encourages growth and encourages an atmosphere where people are sharing ideas, learning from each other, and improving upon it. A lot of times I share with you guys, like my recruiting flyers, I don't even know where one is. My recruiting flyer was an idea, 6 good reasons that Molly Bibb shared. And I took that idea and I put my own, swing on it. And I changed the size of the postcard and the color. And I took ideas that I saw from people in other companies. And I put it all together into a mishmash. And then I share that with my team. And now they take that to the next level. So the other ladies that I've shared that with, they're now going to, put their stamp on it and make it theirs. And hopefully it'll be better than what I had. And then we'll, just grow and grow from there. So working as a team creates a nurturing atmosphere for growth. It's like manure is a bad example. Miracle Grow, better. It's like the Miracle Grow for growth. And it creates a stronger skill set. Your skills become sharper and clearer when you're working as a team. Just to be able to bounce ideas off of another person sometimes really helps. And I do this not just with my Avon family, but with my family, and with my friends. Sometimes I'll, just last week I reached out to a couple of my friends. I was trying to put together a sentence that someone who may not be familiar with Avon would understand. And I found a couple of my friends who weren't Avon representatives, who weren't in sales. And I said, if you heard this, what does it make you think? How do you feel? What comes to mind? And they were able to give me their feedback, and I was able to refine what I was trying to say. So having a team around you to work with will strengthen your skill set and also shores up weakness. I always say mother-daughter teams, husband and wife teams do very well in this business, because let's say like you might be great with social media and the other person is great with face-to-face contact, but not so much with social media. You put those together, your skills are more well-rounded. There's no weakness. What one person is weak in, you lift them up in, and what you're weak in, that person lifts you up in. So when you work as a team, you can shore each other up. So that's number 3, teamwork. Number 4, one of the articles that I was reading, it had this sentence. It said that man whose name I cannot remember, Howard Florey, carried out Fleming's first studies with in-depth, focused studies. In-depth and focused. And that got me thinking, we need to really invest key time into these things. So all the things I said before, working as a team, doing your field tests, and building your knowledge, it's not enough to do it one day or 1 week or 1 month and expect it to pan out and, expand and, and explode in exponential growth. Remember I said, and I kept saying how it took 17 years to get from Fleming's work to the point where penicillin was on the market. 17 years. Could you imagine if after the first month he quit and said, oh no, this antidote to bacterial infections is not going to work. I quit. He wouldn't have found the solution. Everybody who came behind him wouldn't have found solutions. We would have lost hundreds of more people to infections and disease and amputations. But he kept going. Other people picked up his work and kept going. And I'm only talking about 2 scientists here, or 2 groups of scientists. But if you do research and you read up about penicillin, just do a quick, Wikipedia search at least. I can't remember the names of the other sites that I went to, but you'll see that there are a lot of other people, men and women, who worked on this to help bring penicillin to the point where it was able to be mass produced and put out in the country. Different countries, even from US to England to, I think it was Australia, another country. There were, a whole bunch of countries that were involved in, the production of this penicillin. So you have to invest the time into development and research. Any drug company, you watch TV, even if you're not involved in drug companies, they do the research. There's a period where, when they discover that something, product X, does X, Y, and Z, then they put it into drug trials. They research it. They do tests, and they have people, they do blind studies, and they do research. That's for a reason. That's all research and development. So we as well in our business need to put in the time into research and development. The research, the R&D will help you refine and perfect your skills. So as I was talking earlier about doing your field tests, going out for a promotional event one day is not enough. Keep going out. Do a week, do a month, do every Wednesday for a year, every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for a year or 2 years. Do it for a year, stay with it for another 3 or 4 years. Many of the representatives that I watch and I admire and I look up to and whose stories inspire me didn't, get rich quick overnight, whether they're in our business or another business. They took time and consistent action, like water cutting through a rock. They just kept coming back and doing the things that they needed to do to grow their business until they end up with the Grand Canyon. So you can't just touch on these things occasionally. You have to keep coming back to it, and you have to be focused on finding a resolution to your problem. These scientists, scientists who are doing research for cancer, they don't just come in one day and say, okay, no, this thing is not working. They have been doing research for years trying to come up with answers. And a lot of times they're finding solutions for other things as they go, but they keep coming back and, diving in because their goal is to find a cure. Their goal is to find an answer. So they keep that in the forefront of their mind and they focus on it and they push forward and keep going and until they meet that goal. So these are not people who are dabbling. So if you're dabbling in this business, watch out because you're about to run into a brick wall hard. And if you don't have the skill set behind you, the knowledge and everything else to get you through that, you're going to end up just slamming, coming to a full halt and stopping. You need to get to that point and, come up with ideas and ways to get over that obstacle, to get over that hump. Dabbling will not get you to success, regardless of what you're doing. I always talk about athletes. I always talk about entertainers, the time they put into refining and developing their skills. Gold medalists don't dabble in practicing for the Olympics. These scientists were not dabbling and trying to find a cure for these infections. They were going at it. So that brings us to our fifth. That was our fourth, to invest the time. Our fifth is to just rinse and repeat, to keep doing those things. It's never like, okay, I spent 6 months building my knowledge and another 3 months in field time. And then I went and I invested another year into growing and now I'm done. You keep going back. You're constantly learning, constantly practicing, constantly revising as you go. So just to rehash for you guys, step 1 was to build your knowledge. Step 2 was to develop and carry out your field tests. Step 3 was to know the importance of teamwork. And step 4 is to invest time into development and research. And 5 is to rinse and repeat, do it all over and over and over and over and over and over again. And when you think you're done, do it again. just go through the process one more time. And hopefully somewhere in there you have an aha moment where you make a breakthrough. Great. Go back, revise, refine, and go again. So that is my recipe, my formula for finding the antidote to overcome your fears and help you get through and over and around and under your objections. So next week, we will be in Nashville. I am not going to guarantee, because I don't know the schedule and what I'm supposed to be doing. I can't guarantee that I will have a live training, but I will do a Facebook Live video. So I will do live to show you guys what's happening. I'll probably be doing live throughout the day. So just hang out here on my page, on the page of the other representatives. We'll all be streaming and posting. Follow along if you're not there. And if you're with us, come find us. Let's take pictures and hang out a little bit. And I want to see stuff on your walls too. I want to know that you're here because I saw your Facebook post. So thank you guys for joining me, and I wish you very much success in implementing the things that we talked about and learned here tonight. And I hope, oh, last thing, totally forgot. Another thing, there were a couple of things I learned about penicillin, but one thing was that when it first came out, it wasn't something that you just apply and it's cured and it goes away. It was something that you had to keep reapplying. So same thing with all of these steps. Keep reapplying them, keep coming back to it, keep putting it into action. And then you'll see your business start to grow and find success. And hopefully we could all be Captain Platinum in a few years' time. But I'm looking forward to seeing all of you guys at the top and celebrating with you guys, those of you who are doing amazing things and working your business and not just settling for the norm, but going out of your way. And I'm looking forward to hearing your wins. Even though we're not doing a live training next week, save your wins, make note of them mentally, on paper, in your journals, whatever, so that we can celebrate next week, and so that we can all share and continue to encourage each other. So once again, thank you guys for chatting with me, and I am looking forward to seeing most of you at RepFest, the rest of you online next week. Have a great night, guys. Bye.